All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode. This week, we just have a bunch of mashup stories. There's a bunch of small little funny things that have happened to us over the last week. Again, the pickleball world has been extremely slow in the news cycle. There is really not a whole lot going on, so prepare to hear a bunch of personal stories and other random anecdotes. But Will, you want to read us? Yeah, the adventures. You want to read us our review?
Oh, yeah. So this comment is actually on one of my videos on my YouTube channel. It was for the one where I played against Zane. Pros versus Joe, singles. I almost beat him, too. But this is from Bryce Y. He says, agree. Zane won because of his serve. And for context, is because I missed a few serve returns in this game. And he said, you are definitely better than him. Just like the studio podcast is better than the Dink podcast. And you know what? I have to agree. And that just made me chuckle. So, we just had to give him a shout out. That's right.
Bryce knows what's up. Bryce knows what's up. We appreciate that, Bryce. We like that.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, to kick things off, Will, we've got to talk about this story. Might be maybe the funniest thing that's happened to me in pickleball, or at least I feel like I've reached a new height or new status level in pickleball after this happened to me.
It's getting to your head now. All right, here we go. Something's getting
Well, I don't
head.
even know if it's getting to my head. I just think it's funny that someone would try and do this. So I won't name the company. But a company contacted me and said, hey, I just want to show you this screenshot because someone is trying to email me and get free paddles, and they're claiming to be you. And this is extra funny to me because this company sends me paddles already, has my email, and knows who I am. So they emailed, and I was like, okay, I'm going to need more context for this. Yeah. So basically they emailed in, and it seemed like they wanted free paddles. And then the company was like, hey, can you give us an example of some reviews you've done? And then they went ahead and just linked one of my reviews with like 20,000 plus views on it. And the best part is I could see the email in there. They didn't even try and make it look like my email. It was just a random email with their name in it.
What? So they didn't even try?
No, they didn't even try.
No effort whatsoever. They thought they could just pull a fast one on, impersonating the biggest pickleball paddle reviewer on the internet right now.
The best part about it to me is the name. I was like, dude, it's not even a similar name. I mean, maybe someone could think the person works for me, but I was like, dude, if you know me at all, you know this isn't me.
Wait, so this guy tried to impersonate you with a different name. That's not something Chris Olsen pickleball student. Nothing.
Nothing. Literally, I think it's just this guy's full first and last name.
Well, that's not smart. What if, what if you Google search this guy, or what if you knew him?
I know.
So wait, did you try figure out who he was?
No, I didn't even bother putting effort in.
Come
I
on,
debated.
That would have been such a good story. You would show up at his doorstep, it's like, hey, stop trying to be like me. I don't know. So, should have confronted him. That would have been a perfect segue into the stories that we're telling right now. I want to see how this saga unfolds.
I thought it would have been pretty funny to email him and only write "nice try" and just see what he said. But I just didn't want to get into it. I was like, I don't have time for this. It's not worth the time. But it definitely would have made for a better podcast story.
Yes, no, that's true. Well, that's can't believe somebody said here. Well, I have the exact opposite problem of that, sort of, right? Moving into the next story, because I remember you hooked me up with, you've connected me with a lot of paddle companies and your contacts, right? So sometimes I email them, right, and I don't get anything back. And you told me this because I don't know if you want to mention the company now, but why don't you tell the rest of the story?
No, we'll leave the company out of it.
Okay. Well, go ahead and tell the rest of half of this story.
So I was on a phone call with one of these companies. I was just getting some information about the paddles, and toward the end, they're like, "Hey, do you know a guy named Pickleball Will, he's claiming he's worked with you or like he's done some stuff with you and he wants some free paddles. Like, we just want to make sure it's not like a conflict of interest. And I just thought it was so funny. I started laughing. Was like, no. Like, please send it to him. I told him to email you. I want him to have it. Like, thank you. But like, no, it's like, please, he should have those paddles. Wait, I also thought that was funny.
Wait, he said that he asked you if it was a conflict of interest. Like, I'm the competition. Like, to you? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know if I'm competition to you. I feel like we pretty much do stuff in tandem. I don't know. When I make videos, it helps you out. And when you make videos and we do the same paddles, it honestly helps me out because I feel like our videos like recommend each other, but that's hilarious.
No, it was super, super funny. Because I don't know. I feel like most people who know us know we're great friends. So I thought that was funny, but it would have been really funny to go, oh my gosh, thank you for alerting me. Like, this guy has been trying to steal all my business.
God. Shut up. No, you would do something like that. You would do something like that.
I don't know. I could see it for like an April Fool's Day joke or something.
Okay, I can see that too. All right, well, moving on. Like, obviously, you know, you do stuff on your own channel. I do stuff on my channel, but we're pretty much like, I think people consider us that we're tied at the hip now at this point.
Yeah.
Like, if we weren't like before, like we definitely are now. So much so that I actually started a second YouTube channel. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You just told me, but yeah, let's hear more.
Okay. Well, no, I just made this channel kind of like as a backup, but also as a place to just unload just like rec play footage. Because I don't know about you, but you know, I have a lot of footage from rec play, and sometimes it's me testing a paddle or whatnot, but I don't do much aside from editing like a video for a paddle review, and maybe if it's I don't know, interesting enough for pros versus Joes, but those rec play videos don't live anywhere. So people have asked me enough for this footage that, and I don't want to put it like public on my main channel because I don't want it to like, I don't know, mess with the algorithm or whatnot. So I just created a second channel. It's just called PBW. And yeah, I think moving forward, if you're listening to this or watching this, if I ever get a chance to play with you and I happen to record the footage moving forward, I'm just going to dump these files onto the second channel for your viewing pleasure. So there you have it.
There you go, guys. Go follow it. Make sure you give me a link for that later, and I'll put that down in the show notes so people can find that easier.
Yeah, sure thing. But you know, speaking of rec play, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please. Now tell this story. I know which story you're going to tell, and I want to hear it.
You do? Okay. Well, I was going to ask you first if you had funny things that happened, but now that I think about it, this one story that I'm about to tell you, you were there. You were on the other side, and I can't remember if we recorded this or not, but it's probably better that we didn't because I don't want to have people know what happened. But basically, it was back in Florida, right? And we just finished eating, and we were getting into some intense like matches, right? Like we were like basically preparing for the tournament, right, at the US Open. And I can't it's just fun. I can't stop laughing just thinking about it. But basically, was it on the third shot? I think it was on a third shot. Okay, I was doing a third shot drive. Okay, and on my third shot drive, like, I farted. Okay, and I think nobody heard about it. But then you hit it back. It was like an easy shot for Nahom, right? And he dumps one straight into the net, and he just like put his head down. He's like, "I'm sorry, guys. Will farted. I couldn't do anything." And we just like fall out cracking up, laughing. I'm like, "Oh, shoot, guys, I'm sorry. You know, these things happen." You know what I mean? The burrito was hit.
Funny. I'm sorry that you had to take the hit for that, but I have definitely been in a similar position since I'm lactose intolerant and I still eat dairy all the time because I'm just mean to my body.
Yeah.
But I have been in that same situation, and I'm like, dude, if I hit this too hard, like it's not going to end well. So I'm glad it was you first before me.
Well,
it was funny though. We all laughed it off. I don't know if you felt very embarrassed, but I just thought it was amusing.
Me? Nah. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't feel embarrassed about anything.
Well, maybe I can be like that parent around you that tries to embarrass the kid or whatever. When we go to tournaments, I'll just start saying really just, I don't even know what. Just see if I can get you to like blush or be embarrassed.
Okay, you can try. I think it would actually be more entertaining to see you try and do that and just like come out of your shell a little bit more than it is for me, to be honest, because I don't know. I
come out of my shell.
That'd be more awkward for you just to be whatever, this embarrassing parent.
It would be an experiment on both ends, that's for sure. I don't know what I would do. I could probably think of something. We'll see. Maybe one day we'll give it a shot. Maybe one day.
Okay.
All right. Well, the other story I want to tell, because I don't know if this video will ever see the light of day. Maybe I will try and do a more elaborate video, but here's the deal, guys. My wife gave me this amazing idea for a video. She came home from work and she's like, I have got an amazing video for you. I think you're going to love it. She found this pickleball paddle at Target, and it's like got absolutely awful reviews. I think the average rating was 1.7 stars, and she was like, you should review this. And I look at all the reviews on it, and every single one of them is saying, broke it in one play session, broke it in two play sessions, and all of them were snapped right at the neck. And so my immediate head just went to, holy cow, if a 2-0, 2-5, maybe 3-0 is breaking it on their first evening, I'm going to break it on a single serve. Like, it's going to be so easy. And I was getting ready to go to a group. We had 8 and we were all playing mixed. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to come up with like this whole video idea. It's going to be like, if you can make it to the end of like a singles bracket and not break the paddle, you win. But if you break the paddle, you're immediately out. So like you would play a game to 11. If you got to 11 first, you won. And if your paddle broke first, then you were just out. And if you lost, you were out as well. So anyways, I get one, take it home, and I'm durability testing this thing. So I'm just swinging it really hard and abruptly stopping like towards the ground. And eventually I get it to snap at the neck. So I was like, okay, great, it breaks. Well, we take it to the court. I give it to my youngest brother, who hits really hard. He couldn't break it on overheads, forehand drives, backhand drives. I tried the same thing and also couldn't break it. And then I played a full-blown singles game, and the stupid paddle still wouldn't break. So
Maybe
I was like,
it's not as bad as people say it is.
Dude, apparently not. Like, these 2.5s or whatever at Target are just built different. Like, I don't... Dude, I know I don't hit hard, but I didn't think I didn't hit so hard that I couldn't break a $20 paddle. Also, when I went to Target, I bought all 6 packs of these. I literally took every single one of them, which is 12 paddles, and I will be making a return tomorrow because...
Wait, how much was a pack?
A pack was $20, so I spent like $130 after tax.
Yes, to break a paddle that you couldn't break.
Yeah. And so I honestly think after seeing those reviews, okay, here's the thing. It does flex quite a bit. Like, you can bend it with your hand quite easily. But I'm like, dude, if people who play this game and hit pretty hard, like, we'll take me out of the equation. We'll use my brother. Dude hits real hard. If he couldn't break it, I think people are falling on them, throwing them, or abusing them in some capacity, because there's just no way I believe someone who barely knows how to swing a paddle is breaking it.
True. Okay, well, dang. You can't break a paddle. Wait, no, you sent me a clip, though. There was, like, you, I think you did break it, right? Was that the same paddle?
Well, I did break one, but I put 2 hands on it, swung as hard as I could towards the ground, and then abruptly, like, pulled up to make the head, resist or whatever.
Okay.
And then it snapped.
I see.
Okay. I thought hitting like a Dura really hard or something, like someone hitting a forehand drive and then hitting it back would like make it flex enough to break. But dude, I don't know. The video was going to be titled like world's worst pickleball paddle. And I walked away going, dang, maybe it's better than I thought.
No, okay. No review for this Target paddle. It's an OG now, indestructible.
Yeah, I mean, might be more durable than a thermoformed paddle. One of my friends did joke. I served, when we played singles, I served it pretty hard. That paddle actually has kind of a lot of pop, if I'm going to be honest. And he immediately goes, check it for delamination. He's like, there's no way it's legal.
Nice.
So it's pretty funny. But the only other story that I have left, it's not even a story. I just figured I'd give a little shout out on the podcast because Chubby's, the like sports athletic shorts wear company, they sent me some stuff a while ago. Nothing is sponsored. They just said, hey, we want you to have it. And when people send me stuff and they were nice, I feel like I should reciprocate. So, and also I like the product. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be talking about it. I'm actually wearing them right now. If you guys are looking for sports shorts, Chubby's are really good. I like them a lot. They feel very comfortable, very stretchy. I have enjoyed playing pickleball in them. So if you want to check them out, go check them out on their website. I assume it's chubbies.com. I have not actually confirmed that, but they are great shorts. Highly recommend.
They're also expensive. Expensive hats, expensive shorts. What's next, Chris?
Yes. I am scared for whatever's next. But yes, the shorts are not expensive, but I don't know. So far they seem like they will last, but we'll see if they stand the test of time.
Okay. Well, speaking of expensive and next thing too, we've been traveling a lot and it's been costing us a pretty penny. And recently, this past weekend, you and I both went to Washington, D.C. I went there really for my mama's Mother's Day. I haven't seen my folks in a while, but we also went there for, I guess, well, I don't know. I guess we can't really talk about it, Chris.
Nope, we sure can't. All you guys really need to know is that Will and I were together for a weekend, and we will talk about it sometime in the near future.
Okay, all right, there we go. Well, I will tell you, so I went there a little bit earlier than you on Thursday, and when I went in, I immediately went to go play pickleball. Like, as soon as I touched them, my mom, my dad, like, picked me up from the airport. Traffic was atrocious, coming because I landed around like 4:30, 4:45, and so anyways, we didn't even have dinner or anything. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, Mom? Hey, Dad, it's great seeing you. Immediately went to go play pickleball. And here's the funny thing, okay? We went to a Lifetime in the town over, and my buddy, my good friend, like, I actually haven't seen him in a while. His name is Jan, and he plays basketball over there, but his brother-in-law is really into pickleball, okay? And his brother-in-law has been trying to get him to play pickleball for ages. And he's like, oh, man, I don't know. I'm a hooper or whatever. Maybe if my buddy Will comes into town, we'll play because he's really into it. And so he tells his brother-in-law, he's like, hey, you should play with my buddy Will. He's really into it. And Jan is just kind of like talking me up, all right? Like, from before, I didn't even know that he was doing this. And then finally his brother-in-law's name is Daniel Liam, right? Daniel was like, okay, you've been talking about this guy. Who is this guy? Is he even serious? What's his duper? And Jan was like, what the heck is a duper? Okay, it's like your rating or whatever. So they went to go look me up on Duper. Okay, Daniel went to look me up on Duper. Will Chang. Okay, that's my name. He's like, dude, and I'm not in Duper as Will Chang, right? So Daniel's like, dude, this guy is not serious at all. He probably sucks. He doesn't even have a Duper. Like, who is, like, And then Jan was finally like, dude, no. He's super serious. He has his own channel. He has his own Instagram account. He's like, okay, well, what is it? He's like, it's Pickleball Will. And immediately, Daniel's like, what? You know Pickleball Will? And I'm like, there's no way. Like, he's fangirling, like, over me like this, right? But Daniel was like, no, seriously, dude. He loves you and Chris. And, like, he can't believe, he still thinks, I think, until I made it to Lifetime, I think that Daniel thought that Jan was pulling his leg the whole time. So I finally showed up, and dude, like, I could tell Daniel is like great, like he's trying really hard not to smile from like ear to ear. But yeah, we got to play. It was a cool time. Like, I don't know how you feel, but when you meet fans, quote unquote, is it ever like weird for you?
It's not weird. It's generally exciting to me. The only time it's weird is when someone introduces themselves to me, or they say like, hey, Chris, how's it going? But I don't know if I know them. So then it makes me think, oh, this person knows me and I forgot who they are. So I'm like going through the database in my head and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad that I don't remember this person. But in reality, we've never met. They just know me and I don't know them. So that's the only time it's awkward, is then. But I always love meeting people or whatever.
It's true. Yeah, no, it's still getting kind of, I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to it when people like recognize me. And just because I feel like people just recognize me more because I'm in your videos or from this pod. And then some people do recognize because now that I think about it, I'm in a lot of other people's videos. Like, I'm in a lot of Shay's videos. I'm in a few of Kyle's, obviously yours and my own. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's weird to me. At least right now, it's weird to me.
Yeah, for sure. I think the only reason it's not for me is just because of it was like that in speed cubing. So now it's just a similar thing in another small niche.
Another industry. I see. All right, so so you're not new to this. You're true to this. You've been a celebrity. Chris has been a celebrity, guys.
well, I don't know if I'd say celebrity. I definitely do not feel like a celebrity. That's for sure.
Oh,
maybe in all technicality it works that way, but it definitely does not feel that way. Anytime someone is really excited to meet me, I always chuckle to myself, and so does my wife, because she's like, if people only knew how weird you were. Like, sometimes we'll just be hanging out, and like, I don't know, I'm just kind of hyper or something. And so it's like, if the pickleball people saw you right now, they would be like, why do I watch this guy? Like, this is what this guy is like all the time. Like, this guy is weird. Just take that for what it's worth to everyone else.
Yeah, no, I asked myself that too. I'm like, man, why am I friends with this guy? He's so weird.
Because I got the connections.
No, you do definitely have the connections. Speaking of connections, I saw on your latest review video, you were like at a new place, and I'm mad jealous. When you want to tell us in the audience about this new facility that you copped up, did you buy this place? What happened? Let's give us the deets.
Yeah, I wish I bought this place. I got told the price of this place, and I won't reveal that because I don't know if the owner would want me to say, but let's just say I am nowhere near close to affording this thing. But no, I have a buddy who linked me up with another guy. He was like, hey, this guy watches your videos. Like, he would love to talk with you sometime. He's got a facility. It's about 30 minutes. Well, okay, when I say facility, it's like the guy's second house, and then it has a barn with 2 pickleball courts in it, a kitchen, a golf simulator, like a lounge. Like, it's really flipping nice. Like, it's crazy. And
I'm coming over.
I kept putting it off. Oh yeah, you gotta come. The next time you're here, we're for sure going, because it's fantastic. But yeah, we finally made it out there. Because it's 30 minutes, it's just kind of hard to justify the drive because there's a lot of courts close by. But I had wanted to film this first look video where I kind of needed a private court, because it is really uncomfortable for me to vlog or talk to a camera in front of a bunch of other people like that don't know me in a public setting. So I was like, hey, can we just use your facility? I only need it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours just to film this. And he was like, oh yeah, come on through. And dude, it's legit. I will definitely be back over there to film more videos, because it just looks really nice in there.
Dude, it looks really nice. That video was also really nice. I think that was like the best video I think on your channel to date, at least in my opinion. Like,
I think so too.
How'd you get all those shots? Like, who was filming?
Yeah, I've got my brother filming for me now. He's kind of on like a part-time schedule for me right now. We just started dabbling with this, but I'm just getting to the point now where there's stuff that I want to do just requires more people, and that style of format requires someone else being behind the camera. And I was really happy with it, and so far it seems like the audience was too. I think there was a lot of different things about it that made it a little refreshing. I feel like the style that I was doing before is good. I think it gets the information across, but it's very repetitive, and when I'm editing it, it also feels repetitive. So there was a lot of people who were just like, yeah, this was a nice breath of fresh air. Nice.
Well, shoot, it looks like you're becoming somewhat of a little YouTube mogul right now, expanding a team and everything. How does that feel?
I am definitely in a business development phase, that's for sure. I have been consuming so much business-related content and just a lot of creators that I'm like, you've been here, done that. What was kind of what did you go through to get through these stages and kind of figure out, like, there's, what could pickleball content become in the future? Like, what's the direction it should go? And I definitely think stuff similar to the first look content is kind of the way to go. And one funny story I want to talk about, because a couple people commented this, and I actually really appreciate these people commenting this, because it's something I never, ever would have thought about. But I wore that bright US Open colored shirt, and everyone else I played doubles with was wearing like black shirts, and people said, dude, thank you for wearing a bright colored shirt, because it was so much easier to tell which one was you playing in the video. And I had no idea that was a thing, because no one's ever commented and said, I couldn't figure out which one was you, probably because people can figure it out. It just might take them some time. So I was like, shoot, I'm going to go buy like a neon bright colored melon hat.
Now anytime.
Yes. So I bought a really bright, obnoxiously bright red melon hat. And now you'll know if you see the bright red melon hat, it's me on the court.
Now I'm going to go buy the same bright red melon hat just to confuse people when we're both on the court at the same time. We'll never know. They'll never know.
Well, we'll bust out one of the other 7 melon hats and hope one of those figures it out.
Okay.
Well, you want to know why they would never mix us up?
Why?
I'll give you one guess.
Wait, why they won't mix us up?
Yeah, why they won't mix us up even if we wore the same color hat.
Is it because I'm shorter than you? I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You're like a whole head shorter than me.
Okay, I was going to go the opposite way. So the reason why they would mix us up is because we're both Asian or, one
No, that
Asian,
would just give them reason to mix us up.
No, that's what
I think that is the reason people mix us up.
I still think that's hilarious. Remember that time? Did I tell you that time where somebody here in Oklahoma, I don't think he's ever watched my YouTube videos, but he saw one of yours and was like, hey man, I loved your review on so-and-so paddle. And I was like, I've never ever reviewed that one. And I forgot what it was, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, no, you did it. I saw it with you and your brothers. And I'm like, he's gotta be talking about Chris and your brothers in some paddle review. Why? And I was like, why would you mix me up? And I was like, oh, I get it. We got, we're Asian. I get it.
It's so funny because I don't think you and I look alike at all.
No, we don't.
It's really funny to me.
It's all good. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is definitely what it is. Also, if you guys didn't see, so the first look video was on the Ronbus R1 and R3 Pulsar. I'm also doing a giveaway on those that's going to run for, by the time this podcast is posted, 3 more days. It'll be done on Friday, I think. I said it was going to run for a week. So if you are interested in possibly winning one of those, go check out the video on how you can enter. But the paddles are good, and you'll probably want to check it out.
My favorite.
Yes. All right. Well, moving on, Will, let's talk about the event that you got to go attend in Virginia.
Yes. So there was an event, essentially a pros versus Joes exhibition match by the Arlington Iron Paddles Club. And I know some of the guys at that club because obviously I used to live in Virginia. And some of my buddies played in that event. And the crazy kind of thing is that when I walked in, because you kind of come in from the balcony and the courts are downstairs, people instantly recognized me. It's some people pointed me out. They're like, Will, and I was like, whoa, this is weird. And the match was going on. Anna Bright and Brooke Buckner were playing against 2 guys from the club. So basically, the pros that were there was Anna Bright, Brooke Buckner, and Ben Johns. Okay. And this was for money. So every single match that Anna Bright and Buckner and then Ben Johns win, they got a certain amount of money. I don't know the specific details, but I know money was involved. But it was actually a really dope event. It was pretty hype. It was really intimate. The crowd was cheering and the energy was great. And I hope they run it again the following year. So shout outs to the Arlington Iron Paddles Club for, I guess, putting on a pretty dope event. Okay. So you're probably wondering how the results went. Well, I think Anna Bright, I think the pros pretty much took it all. Let me see. I wrote this down. Let's see. So,
well, what was the level of the players they were playing?
I think many of them were 4.5 plus, some of them to probably 5.0, according to their dupers. But sometimes duper isn't always the most accurate. I will say though that my buddy Ryan Kane, who's part of the club, he was telling me that they probably had access to some stronger players, but I think his name is Jimmy. He's the head of the club. He wanted to keep just his members to be playing just to make it easier and for logistics and whatnot. Maybe they'll expand it for next year, but all good, rightfully so. But those were kind of the levels that you could expect. I think most of them were, when I looked up the dupers, were in 4.7, 4.8 or higher, right? And I don't know what is do you know Anna Brightstuper or Brooks or Ben Johns?
I don't off the top of my head. I mean, Ben's is like 7 or very high 6.
7? They go up to 7 now?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised because during this weekend, I actually had the opportunity to chit chat with Ben, and I also got to like dink and like drill with him a little bit. And let me tell you, like his attacks and his ability at the kitchen line is far beyond anything I've ever experienced before. And I've played against and I've drilled with a lot of the pros, and he's just on another level. I was like 5 minutes of like drilling, just dinking. I've never been pegged and like body bagged so many times. Like he hit my right shoulder at least. It felt like 4 or 5 times. Like he made me look like I didn't know what I was doing. Like, and I was like,
that's
what the frick
awesome
is going on? Yeah, the precision. It's just so heavy. I was like, what? How is he doing this? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's see. Let's go through some of these score lines, right? Okay, so the first part of the day, it was Anna Bright and Brooke Buckner. They played against a guy named Dylan Godwin, Alec Alman. They got whopped 11-1, 11-0.
Oof.
Next match, a little bit better. Austin Laddick and Brian McCullough, 11-3, 11-4. And then next round against Robert Bixler and Rumi Vaikuntan. I'm sorry, Rumi, if I pronounce your name wrong, but 11-3, 11-8, a little bit better. And then
a little better.
Yeah, a little bit better. And then my buddy Ryan Kane, right, aka Big Red, and his buddy Brandon Ward, they lost 11-6, 11-7. So everything is, progressively getting better. And I think in the first game, they had it tied 6-6 in the first game, and they were actually up 7-1 in the second game.
They were up 7-1 and didn't get a single point after.
And they were up 7-1 and they lost 11-7. Dang,
oh, that hurts. That feels bad.
I know. We've all been there, right?
Oh, yes, we have.
We've all been there. Okay. So, those are some good, those are some pretty hype matches. It was, battle of the sexes type of deal. Good job, Anna and Brooke. But then we get to like the main event. Okay, Ben Johns, he was playing 2v1. Okay, and I'm sure you've heard of Ben's prowess, like 2v1, right? But he played against Alex Spancake and John Smet. Alex Spancake's duper is, according to this, is 4.76 and John Smet is 4.86. I feel like they're closer to 5-0 because I used to play with Alex Spancake. And here's the thing. If you guys didn't know, Spancake is the founder or owner of Pickleball Analytics. So he's the guy who puts up some of those pretty sweet like stats and heat maps and whatnot of gameplay footage. He's a statistician, I believe. All right. So they play one game, okay, against Ben Johns. One game up to 15. And Ben John beats them 15-6.
Oh my God.
15-6. Can you believe, Chris, do you think we could have gotten more points than them against Ben?
I mean, I would like to think we could have, but it's so easy to be able to say that from behind a computer and be like, oh yeah, I definitely could have done better, because I watched the stream of this. Mm-hmm. Dude, Ben's serve looked so heavy. I know they were just using a GoPro, but the angle it was recorded at, the serve just looked like an absolute rocket. Like you could see them hit it. I mean, a bunch of the points were literally just off serve returns, and then if they were returning it properly, like they were a little slow to the kitchen line. So, and Ben even said in some interviews, like, yeah, I'm literally just slapping this ball as hard as I can and going for it, and it sure looked like it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I actually asked Spancake like how it felt playing against Ben. He's like, and Spancake said, dude, it's like he took me to a batting cage. Right, and then he can cover like 90% of the court, and I just felt like he could speed it up and put it anywhere he wanted, whenever he wanted. And I was like, well, that'll do it. I mean, that's why you lost 15-6. And like if you guys wanted to watch this, it is on. Maybe you'll link it in the show notes, but it's on the Iron Paddles like YouTube page on the live tab, so you can watch it. It's on a GoPro, so it seems kind of wide at times, but I think it's still watchable. And it was a good time. But here's the kicker, okay? after, and Ben is gassed after this event, right? And he won 15-6, and he's gassed. And right after that, Anna Bright and Brooke challenged Ben to a 2v1. Two female pros challenged Ben to a 2v1, one game up to 15 after he just played a 2v1, right? And I'm like, there's no way Ben is winning this, right? And he freaking wins. Like,
that's crazy.
He wins 15-6.
I watched that one. That one was wild because it was pretty close to begin with, and then Ben just kept pulling and pulling away.
Yeah, they were just pulling. I mean, maybe Anna and Brooke were playing like a little sloppy, like later on in the game. But yeah, he was just pulling away, and I don't know. It was just really hard for me to fathom like what was going on, and I'm just curious like how Anna and Brooke were feeling. Well, I kind of have an idea how Anna was feeling because before Anna challenged them, like Anna talked to me, and she was hyped up, she was pumped, she was feeling good, you know. She's like, Will, I'm gonna challenge Ben, you have to record this. I'm like, oh, I got you, Anna, I got you. Yeah. And she was super pumped. I said, thanks, Will. Yeah. And before the match started, she yelled, she's like, where's Will get your camera out, right? And I just pulled out my phone to record, and then after the match I went up to her and she was sitting down. I was like, hey Anna, all right, nice try.
She's like, delete that.
Yeah, she was like, delete that. She was just like sitting down. You could tell she was like pissed. She was like, you know, stone face. I was like, dang, don't hurt me.
To me, I'm sure watching it in person was even more impressive, but I think the big standout thing to me was Ben's footwork is just so impressive. He is just able to cover the court in what feels like as few steps as possible.
Yeah, I think he can cover the court, but I think what's more amazing is that I can tell like every single shot he does like has purpose, right?
Yeah.
He hits it here and he knows, I think he just understands like his court IQ is just like off the charts. He understands the court geometry of the likely places that things will be, but he puts it there because he's looking for or building up to a certain shot that he wants. And I don't know, I almost feel like people were like, oh, maybe you should just start like some hand exchanges because it's like, you know, 2v1. There's no way he can win. But at the same time, his hands are better than yours. And I don't know if you know this, but this is something that my old like tennis coaches used to teach me. It was that it's easier to hit the ball like back to like where it came. So if you initiate like a hand exchange, it's so fast, it's really hard to redirect the ball, right? So it typically goes back to where it came. And if you're battling against Ben, who has some of the fastest hands, like you're gonna lose. And some of that was happening like in the matches and in the stream, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was really impressive. I thought it was pretty cool event to see because it's not something you get to see often. I mean, I've never seen you hardly see one female versus a male anywhere, let alone two female pros versus a male, and also two male near 5-0s playing against 5-0. A male pro.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, well, we technically have seen, at least I have seen the 2v1. I mean, we've technically done it, Chris. You and I played against James Ignatowicz one time, and we lost that. And then I've done it with Jay DeVilliers. But with Jay DeVilliers, he took a more of a handicap already. He took only one serve, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a mistake.
That's a mistake. Well, so for the 2v1s here, like Ben always had two serves. So I think that's somewhat of a huge advantage. I think if you only had one serve, it'd
be a lot harder.
I think it'd be way harder. You have less chances to basically score, you know. But yeah, no, it was a great event. They even had like a ref come in and keep score and everything. So
I saw that.
Yeah, I hope they do it again. And I think Jimmy and one of the other guys, Mr. Pickles Smith, who I know, they want to bring me back there and maybe do some sort of collaboration. Maybe I asked them, I would MC this event. You know, if you bring me back, I'll MC this event. You know, I think that'd be dope.
It would be kind of fun to watch you MC something.
Yeah, because like it's my home, you know, it's kind of like my hometown, my home area. And also I feel like I'm one of the ones who pioneered the Pros vs. Joes videos on the internet.
For sure,
so I think it would just make sense for me to come out. So if you guys are watching this, bring me on next year. I'm gonna MC the event. It'll be a fun time.
I feel like I would see a whole new side of you that I've never seen before.
Oh, you think
I feel
so?
like I don't. If they just gave you one beer before that, you go from like probably a pretty good Will MC to probably just a level 11 out of 10 MC Will.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm like 6.0 plus. MC.
Yeah, probably. It might get a little more explicit, but oh my gosh. But yeah, no, it sounded like a really cool event. I wish I could have got to see it, but catching the replay on YouTube was pretty good as well. Definitely crazy. I hope we see some more just fun stuff like that. Like I'd love to see a Ben versus Annalise singles. I'd love to see just all sorts of different stuff like that. Like, for example, if you took a Catherine and an Annalise, could Ben still beat them?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that as well. Yeah, I want to see more of these fun events. Maybe we'll host something too, right? Where it's a retro tournament. Like you invite all the pros, but they all got to play with wooden paddles. Or
that'd be fun.
Something random, or there'd be some sort of gimmick out on the court. Like, did you ever watch the Dude Perfect video on Pickleball?
Only a little bit of it.
Did you see some of the crazy courts? They had one court where there was huge fans just blowing on either side, so the ball was just curving in and out. And I would just think it'd be hilarious to watch an exhibition match with some sort of crazy gimmick like that.
No, I think that would be pretty sick too. We should just make them play with the target paddle. See if they can break it. It would be, dude. I'm telling you, man. I won't go back into it, but man, if it had broke easier, it could have been such a funny video. There's so much potential. Curse you, Target, for making a durable paddle.
All right, man. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to share, Chris?
No, I think that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I think both of us have a pretty heavy content schedule coming up. We've got some trips coming up. We'll be at the Texas Open PPA. That'll be fun. Literally right after that, we've got a trip with Jordan Briones in Colorado, and then at least I get a break for the rest of June and a little bit of July. We might both end up in Seattle, but we've just got a lot of content to crank out before then, so that stuff keeps coming out while we're in at these tournaments.
Yeah, for sure. And looking forward to it. Looking forward to sleepless nights.
Yes, it will be great. But all right, guys, thanks for listening to this episode. I know there wasn't a whole lot of earth-shattering news, but that's just where we're at in pickleball right now. But we do always appreciate you guys listening. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you have something interesting to say, and we always appreciate a review on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.